What up YouTube, it's your boy ProfessorStix back at it again with another Call of Duty Warzone video. Today we're going to be comparing the nail gun and the Cold War MP5. We'll be comparing these stats. I'll be sharing with you guys the recoil pattern and I'll be sharing with you guys the best attachments. We're going to find out how broken is the nail gun, because I'm sure you've already seen some footage out there, some crazy gameplay. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make Warzone tips and tricks videos and I compare the best weapons in Warzone. Let's get into it. When we're looking at the weapon stats, the nail gun has an ADS speed of 223 milliseconds and a movement speed of 5 meters per second. The Cold War MP5 has an ADS speed of 200 milliseconds and a movement speed of 4.95 meters per second. The nail gun has a reload speed of 2.29 seconds and a rate of fire of 514 rounds per minute. The Cold War MP5 has a reload speed of 2.48 seconds and a rate of fire of 854 rounds per minute. So we can see here, the nail gun has some pretty modest stats, pretty slow rate of fire for a close range option, but we're gonna see the damage profile is just absolutely incredible. When we're looking at the damage profile, the nail gun does 81 damage to the head, which means it's gonna take 4 shots to down a fully armored opponent. The Cold War MP5 does 47 damage to the head, which means it's gonna take 6 shots to down a fully armored opponent. The nail gun does 64 damage to the chest, which means it's going to take 4 shots to down a fully armored opponent, and the Cold War MP5 does 33 damage to the chest, which means it's going to take 8 shots to down a fully armored opponent. Now keep in mind the damage fall off for the nail gun is an incredible 17 meters. That is insane. And the Cold War MP5 has a damage fall off at 9 meters. Taking a look at the time to kill, the nail gun, if you hit all headshots, is going to down a fully armored opponent in 350 milliseconds compared to the Cold War MP5, which is going to down a fully armored opponent in 351 milliseconds. So the Cold War MP5 is pretty comparable here. But when we look at the chest TTK, the nail gun will down a fully armored opponent if you're hitting all of your chest shots in 350 milliseconds. This is where this gun is absolutely broken, whereas the Cold War MP5 is going to down a fully armored opponent if you're hitting all of your chest shots in 492 milliseconds. If you hit 1, 2, or it doesn't even matter, if you hit headshots or chest shots, you are downing a fully armored opponent in 350 milliseconds with that nail gun. Whereas with the Cold War MP5, you have to hit at least 2 to 3 headshots to reduce your time to kill to 422 milliseconds. And guys, let me tell you something. When we look at the recoil pattern, the nail gun has no recoil. Let's take a look at this. All right, so taking a look at the recoil pattern, we have the nail gun on the left and the Cold War MP5 on the right. The nail gun pretty much has no recoil. The bullets pretty much, the nails pretty much land at the exact same spot. It does have a little bit of vertical recoil, but not a ton. You can see with the Cold War MP5, ton of vertical recoil, no horizontal recoil at all. So that's why a lot of people kind of stay away from the Cold War MP5, because that vertical recoil is a bit tough to control. However, this does have one of the best TTKs in terms of the SMG category. So this is the recoil pattern. As you can see, guys, you definitely want to start using the nail gun. It is super easy to use and it is super broken. All right, guys, let's get into the situational use. The nail gun is elite at close range. You just need to hit your opponent. Situational use, just aim and shoot. What more can I say? The Cold War MP5 is your standard SMG. It's the best SMG. It's not broken, deals great damage at close range, but has a lot of vertical recoil. Most players have issues dealing with that extremely vertical recoil on the Cold War MP5, and that's why you don't see a lot of players using the Cold War MP5, because the vertical recoil is just way too much for them to handle. But if you can get used to it, the Cold War MP5 is the best SMG in the game right now. All right, let's take a look at the attachments for the nail gun real quick. It is a bit of a hassle to unlock. You do have to get 5 eliminations with special weapons in 15 different completed matches. I wasn't going to attempt to try and do this even in Cold War, and it's going to be a pain to do it in Warzone or Plunder. So I went ahead and just bought it from the armory right here. Bought the nail gun. There are no attachments with the nail gun. It comes standard with 20 rounds of nails, and then it uses SMG ammo. So you pretty much are good to go if just buying it from the store. I think it's like 1,000 COD points right now, but if you don't want to spend the money, go ahead and try and unlock it using Cold War or in Plunder. Plunder is going to be the easiest way to do it, or actually Rebirth might be a little bit easier to do it right there, because you can get 5 kills and then finish the match. Go ahead and do that 15 times. All right, so for the Cold War MP5, you're going to want to go with the Agency Suppressor, the Field Agent Grip, the 50 round drum mag, no stock, and then the SOF target designator. This is going to give you some damage range and a little bit of hip fire, because we're not putting on a barrel. The reason why we're not putting on a barrel is because that's how you get that clean iron sight on the MP5. Notice how it doesn't have that circle at the top, so you do have to take a hit by not using the barrel. This is just a build that you could try out, see if you like it. All right guys, let's jump into my final thoughts. Raven Software was doing a fantastic job with not introducing broken guns, but it looks like for some excitement, get the people talking, they decided to introduce a broken nail gun and a super OP broken LMG. They'll both get nerfed eventually, it's just a matter of time, so get in those PRs while you can. All right guys, that's it for me. As always, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can find your way back for more Call of Duty content. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.